Debt load.
Yeah. B is not pronounced, Homero.
Debt load.
Debt.
Debt.
Debt load.
Okay.
Debt load, yes. Debt load. And number 5, relating to a city or town.
Municipal.
Municipal.
Yeah.
Municipal.
Municipal. And number 6,
take-
to take control.
Takeover. Takeover.
Take over. So when you take over, or the government takes over something, or a private company takes over something, it means that they take the control of, for example, water supplies. Here we have water supplies. So let's go to the second group. So it is 6 out of 6 correct. Listen. Okay. So, number 1, to give up, protest, live up to, back down, arrest, riot, media.
I think live up to.
No,
Back down.
Back down.
back down. Yeah,
Back down.
yeah, back down. For example, if we do not support someone, you back down. It means that you stop supporting, you give up supporting. Okay? You back down. The next one is to do what is expected.
Live up.
Live up to.
Yeah, live up to. When you keep your promise, you live up to your promises. It means you do what is expected. Just live up to. The next one, number 3, methods of communication such as TV, radio, press.
Media. Media.
Media.
Media.
Yes. The next one is to take by the police and charge with a crime.
Arrest.
Arrest.
Arrest. Very good. Number 5, noisy, uncontrolled behavior of a group.
Protest.
Protest.
Riot.
Or riot.
Protest.
No, riot.
Riot.
It is riot.
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 Yes,
Riot. Noise.
riot. And to demonstrate and show disagreement.
Protest.
Protest.
That's protest. Okay, so that's the last one. Any questions about the vocabulary?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, let's go to the reading and see what's going on here. We are talking about a city in Bolivia. Lots of people protested against the water privatization over there. Privatization over there. And we're going to read the story. Okay? I'm going to just mute all so that don't have much noise in the reading. Let's start.
Water privatization. In recent years, private companies have taken over municipal water supplies in a number of poor countries. The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund are accused of forcing countries with large debt loads to allow this in exchange for loans. In late 1999, a company called Aguas del Tunaria, owned by Bechtel, an American multinational corporation, was given a 40-year contract to increase the water supplies and services of Cochabamba, Bolivia, a city of 600,000. Shortly after taking over in January 2000, the company raised water rates substantially. Many people had to choose between feeding their family and paying their water bill. To protest the increase, residents took part in a 4-day general strike, which shut down the city. La Coordinateur, an organization of community activists and labor leaders, led the protest. The strike ended when the government agreed to cancel the rate increases. By mid-February, the government had not lived up to the agreement. A peaceful protest march was organized, but riot police used tear gas to stop the marchers. many of whom were injured. The people did not give up, though. In March, activists demanded that the government cancel the privatization contract and return the water system to public ownership. They also released the Cochabamba Declaration, which called for the protection of the water rights of people around the world. When the government once again refused their demands, residents shut down the city on April 4th. Other Bolivians came to support them. The government arrested the leaders of the protests and stopped the media from reporting on it. Police attacked and injured many protesters and on April 8th killed a young protester. On April 10th, however, the government backed down and agreed to all of the protesters' demands. The people of Cochabamba had won. They said no to the economics of globalization and gave hope to many others around the world.
So, did you get the story? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I missed just maybe one or two sentences.
Okay, no problem. What did you understand? Can you tell me a very brief summary of what you got out of the story?
It's about the protest about against the municipal water, supply water.
About municipal?
And yeah, and one young people killed during this protesting.
Or it's against the water privatization?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was
And
against
then
privatization.
after all, the government give up and agreed with them.
Mhm. So what did the private companies do after they took over water supplies in, what was the name of the city, in Cochabamba?
Yeah, they
Raise
raised
the
the
cost of that.
cost of the water.
Very good.
Yeah.
And
So that people protest
how did they protest?
and they
The resident took part of 4 days general strike, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took part in they participated in a 4-day strike.
4-day strike. Yes, general strike.
Not on the city.
Shut down. And were they successful the first time?
The people.
Were they
At first time, no.
Mhm.
But finally, people, they were successful.
Yeah, they were successful. So did they have violent protest or non-violent protest?
Yeah, because of the police. Yeah, it was
became
violent.
too violent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one people killed.
One person was killed. Yeah, it became violent because maybe the police was
The police action, yeah.
Deciding about the violent or non-violent is related to that they deciding to the which part, meaning the when government have deciding such a Bolivia, it's I think in all of the time is violent, and they yes, yeah, because it's not a democratic government. But in other country, for example, in Canada or United States, like this protest is not have any problem. The people have the demonstration, they have the strike without any violence and without killing anybody. But in the Bolivia, in the Middle East, and some of other countries, for very, very ordinary situation, people may be dying.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So you think that in Bolivia, all the protests
already in Bolivia has a transitional government because the government of Bolivia, it was democratic, but this kind of governments belongs to the socialism, and they want to be more years. They were in Bolivia more than 15 or 20 years on the government. For this, the people of Bolivia start to as a strike to avoid they try to be again on the government, and the people rejected the government because they made fraud on the ballot of their votes. It's not a disaster, the situation of the Bolivia. This is the situation, how I say it.
Yeah, I didn't get the last part. What did the government do, Erica?
Already now the government is a transitional government,
Yeah.
because the people rejected the government of Evo Morales, because he
He? So let's listen one more time anyway, and we go paragraph by paragraph.
Water privatization. In recent years, private companies have taken over municipal water supplies in a number of poor countries.
Remember, have taken over?
Take control.
Yeah, they have taken the control of municipal water supplies. So, you know, municipal water supplies means the water supplies belonging to
Belong to city.
City, town.
towns, yes.
The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund are accused of forcing countries with large debt loads to allow this in exchange for loans.
So what do the World Bank and international monetary funds do in exchange for loans?
They lend money to this poor country,
Mhm.
and then after that they force this country to back this amount of money.
Payback.
To pay back this money, and you know that this poor country don't have money to pay this back, and so they decide to
Increase the rate.
yeah, no, decide to sell this to or contract with this private company.
That's right. So they privatize some of their natural resources or some of their,
Yeah,
you know, publicly owned resources, such as, for example,
yeah,
water or other, you know, natural resources such as mines and gardens, sometimes lands, you know. So these are,
yes,
yeah, quite,
yeah,
you know, serious in some countries, especially poor countries. They get loans and they cannot pay back, and they have to sell things to the
yeah.
bank or international.
They have to sell those things that it's belong to the people. Yeah,
That's not, you know, that's not the purpose of these organizations. These economic organizations like World Bank and
yeah,
International Monetary Fund are there to help people to get out of poverty, not to make them poorer, you know.
yes.
Okay. So let's go to the second paragraph.
In 1999, a company called Aguas del Tunaria, owned by Bechtel, an American multinational corporation, was given a 40-year contract to increase the water supplies and services of Cochabamba, Bolivia, a city of 600,000.
So how long was the contract between the
40 years.
40 years.
40 years.
yeah, 40 years.
40, yeah.
So it was an American multinational corporation called Bechtel, who was going to take over the water supplies of a city named Cochabamba in Bolivia. And how many people resided there?
600,000.
Yeah,
The population
the population was 600,000. Not too many people.
I think it's medium-sized city.
Yeah, medium, maybe a small city. You know?
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on the scale that you have in your mind. If you think of the, for example, the cities in the Middle East, it is a small city.